We're live, I believe. Yeah. Right, welcome in for round 7 of Tier 2. Back again. And got a tricky one today. Got more dry running, but it's under Hungary today. So before we get into things, we'll watch Kookaburras. He's the first man. Is he the first? You think he's the first man, isn't he?
Yeah,
around the track.
he's first.
We'll get the standards up because things are looking very close at the top. We've got, after Spa last week, big mix-up for Alpine, throwing the spanner into the works. So that gave Kizza a chance. Kizza won the race out of nowhere. He got 25 points on the board, flew up, and now he's joint on points at the top with Chesney. So they're your front runners on 65 points. Kurbold then 4 points back from that in 61. Down then another 3 points with Troy, who may turn up today. He's not here yet, but hopefully he can get in the next 15 minutes before we run. Kookaburra goes wide there. Somehow keeps it valid.
I thought it was invalidating for that one.
Yeah. And then down then 13 points away from the top is Poole. And then Wolverine Killer, who's now got a full-time seat with Ferrari, but he is 16 points off the top. And then even Banana only 17, but he has got a quali ban today. So, you've got several drivers still right in the mix for the title. So you've got, after this, 3 races left, or 4 races including today. And literally anyone, I think, in the top 10 still has a chance at the title, which is crazy. Whether it stays like that after today, though, we'll see if we knock some people off that list as the time comes flying in. Turbo Snell back on track in the McLaren, but that's only as a reserve for Fearjack, who's stepped off last minute due to illness. So this man's only in for a reserve, but a nice time. They've come flying in Jono then with a 15.7. What do you think? What do you think the pole time's going to be?
I'm going to say like a 15.3.
Well, yeah. So I said in the chat earlier, I think it's going to be a 15.6 because
15.7 in my series already.
This is I said 15.6 because of the overcast conditions. But I mean, if people are doing these times and they're not even on their 5 kg runs, I mean, yeah, Spinak's just the 15.7 flat. And he's still got fuel in the tank, so.
Well, I was doing practice yesterday, and we did an overcast short quality, and I set a 15.4, and I don't even think I'm particularly that good here.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see something like a 5 or a 4 or something. I don't know.
I was going to say, interesting at the time, it was also quicker than my time trial, so I don't think there's much of a difference between time trial 2 quality whatsoever.
Nice. So we might see. I mean, Jundi Sunday has just gone purple in the second sector. Whether that's just a visual glitch or not, we'll see as we follow him through into sector 3. Several drivers still yet to set a time, so plenty can change. In particular, Poole, Faisal, and Jundi. Yeah, Jundi Sunday puts in 9th then with the 16.3. Who we got next coming up? Yeah, to set times. Oh, Man of Panics is in the wall. Oh, just as I cut to him, he's lost half his front wing. He might be beached on the curb as well.
Paul, who's next across the line then.
Yeah, luckily it doesn't impede Cheetah Doozy's as he's on an outlap, but Man of Panic's again stepping up from tier 3, and he's not setting the best first impressions. Paul has a massive slide coming up the final corners.
Those last few corners. So. To be fair, 16 flat after a few slides.
Yeah.
Decent time. So he's got plenty of time left to find.
We've got 7 times. How much ERS do you need here? Probably. It's not that much, is it? Oh, Chesney's all on that curb as well.
I actually don't know, to be honest. It's something I didn't check.
I don't think you need. Well, you don't need your full battery, I think, for people that just want to hop across. And just do back-to-back laps. I think realistically, because it's such a tight, windy track. Yeah, Alex in the chat said 70. I was going to say 65 to 75 in that portion. Chesney's up on his time as well. When I cut to me in, he had 40% ERS. Very slow though through that corner there. It's interesting to see what gear selections people choose to do on manual as well, because I think it's one of these tracks that you can easily flick between a couple of the gears, and it's a personal preference really. As he moves up 1 place, then goes up to 11. Kizza on the time. Kizza is on the time, and he's up. He's up by half a second as well. So Kizza down in 7th right now. This lap is going to put him in that front 3, you'd imagine, if he has a nice clean sector 3. catches that inside curve a bit. Because obviously won the last race, finally got a win under his belt in tier 2, so he's on a roll. What can he do here? Puts it third as well. 15-8 first time. Paul as well.
Already beginning to look relatively tight at the top then.
Yeah. I think there were murmurings about this really, of people thinking how close it was going to be because of, if you look at a track like Spa last time out, it was, the front four was separated but within the 10th. And that's the longest track on the calendar as well, so Cheetah Doozy then puts it third.
Yeah, he joins them up there.
But he, you've got a track now that's very precise and it's very accurate, so the fact that people can... Cookborough's already a 10th down, but yeah, I think you were going to see a lot. It's like a track like Austria. All the track, it's so precise in how you have to be. So I think it goes two ways, really. I think even if you're a 10th off someone, in the grand scheme of things, that's probably bigger than it would be elsewhere, just because it's, a 10th around here is a lot compared to a 10th at Spa. We've not got many people left on laps. Cookborough's down on his time, so that's him done. Cyril's
down as well, with that 10th down.
Oh, Spinak's massive spin on the throttle as well, coming out of turn 1, so that's, you'd imagine that's his time done already. Jono's, he's invalidated his time as well. That's one thing to bear in mind as well for the people sticking around for tier 1 there. It is a one-shot quali, so it could be very painful. Dry as well, so obviously with wet conditions as well.
Flying out in sector 3 and then made it up time.
And it you see one, you're like, it's going to be my first pole, and then you're in a wall. But yeah, it was wet yesterday in tier 3. Again, dry conditions then between tier 1 and tier 2, so tier 3 getting all the rain, and tier 1 and 2 still in the wastelands with nothing. Spinax has clawed all that time back as well, so he was nearly 2/10 down, and then he's clawed it back to be nearly level. He had a purple second sector, but he was still minimally down on his provisional pole time at the moment. But if he can go pole here, he's still got so much. If he can improve this, and he puts a point, he's got so much more time in that lap. The slides he had in sector 1 were ridiculous, so Svinax is definitely someone to look at as getting as low as a 0.3 or a 0.4, I'd say.
I'm on board with Alfie, so he's 3.5 tenths up on his time, but even that though, it's only going to put him lower end of 16, so... Unless he made a mistake in sector 3 last time, it's only going to slot him in around the top 10 this quarter.
Yeah, Turbo Snow's in the pits as well, he's invalidated. Go to Alfie. Alfie puts it 6th then, finds half a second. Then Alpha Tauri coming for the line as well, that would be like Manic Panic. No, it's not, it's Pool. Pool just starting his time. And then we cut to Kurbold, who's up on his time now. Currently sat 5th, so plenty of time left to be found for him. Where's this going to put him? Puts it 2nd, and the next man into the 0.6s. Look at it, already getting very tight at the top. Oh, Manic Panics
invalidates, yeah.
Just as I got to... I need to stop cutting to Manic Panics. The last 2 times, one time he's gone into the wall, the second time he's invalidated.
He seems to have been catching quite a lot of curve in that lap anyway, so I can't imagine it's going to be an amazing time. And he must have invalidated as well, because he was out, and he's only just leaving the pits again now, so both of those you get time in that way.
And Banana
also, I've just seen he's not got that percentage time either.
And he's down on this time. Oh, and he's spun, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming into the pits now, yeah.
But yeah, Banana is obviously retiring because of his quali ban after 2, I think it was 2 incidents in Spa. I remember 1, I think he had 2. Oh, he had the safety car one as well, didn't he? And
I thought he had the quali block, didn't he? Because it was the one where Kurabol was alongside him and then Kurabol got going, but he was left in the racing line.
Oh no, that didn't, and that was an invalid report in the end. Yeah, because it was Sean that reported it from. He reported it from Banana's POV. So it didn't end up, nothing happened from that in the end. So Banana's got the quali ban from 2 incidents. It was the Kurabod last lap down the Kemmel Straight, and then the one where he slammed into the back of Kisabine Sitka. if I'm right. I might be waffling at my ass. I think that's what happened in the end. A couple more people on track now though. We've got Shinji Cindy. This is his first race, so interesting to see what he can do in this first drive. Not the ideal first race you want to have really at Hungary, I guess, unless you're a sicker and you have it as one of your favourite tracks. But looking not too bad so far. It's at 12th on his first run into the 16.3s.
When it counts, it's kind of going to get time on the board, but the problem is he started with too low ERS, so even that's not going to be fully representative, but still a bit off the pace. And obviously, I guess it's the one thing, he's the only tier 3 guy that's left today, and they obviously had the wet race yesterday. So
yeah, so he's coming in slightly fresh.
Yeah, you're kind of looking at it and you're probably like, he's not had any practice in dry conditions.
Yeah. Cindy to the line. Can he go up? He can. Just the one place though. 10th and a half improvement, but just moves him above Kookaburra, who's currently still sat in the pits. Who's that starting time? We've got Kizza on the time now, haven't we, I think? So, with no one else really on track, we'll follow him around for the lap. Mercedes coming to the line, but I'm assuming that's Cyril about to start his next run. Just under 5 minutes to go as well.
Oh, Ali's had quite a bit of moment now, but he's still at least valid at the moment, coming towards the end of sector 2.
Oh, Matt's in the chat saying, where is McLennan? Oh, you need to go wake up your boy. There's Sky sources that the man is asleep. This man's in a champion. He's in a championship fight, and this man is slacking. Yeah. Oh, Kizza catching all the curbs through the little chicane. Then he's got a Has in front of him. Oof. I feel like he's had to bail out that time. He had to go very narrow because of the. I think that was K1. Then slightly blocked him. So I don't know if that'd get reported. What's his delta? I mean, yeah, he's down. So I don't know if that'd be something that he tries to chuck into a ticket or anything. It wasn't completely a block, but he definitely hampered his time. I know. Who was it? I think was it Rob in Tier 1 last season or at Bahrain? He blocked. I think it was him. There was a slight block going down on the first corners in Sector 2. And it was one of these blocks where it was slightly on your racing line. Didn't hamper him as such, but it still cost him time. And I think something like that, if that gets reported, he could end up with a quali ban. And Ali's had another moment.
Well, this is his in that now. He's got a toe on the board. He's gone up to 11th, just ahead of his teammate.
Sliding all over the place.
He had quite a big moment in Sector 2 on his lap as well. Really lost in his flow. So he's one who, assuming he will get in and back out of time.
Oh, Troy's here. He's had the call up.
I think Matt's pulled through and got him.
In BBB, they know their responsibilities. They're getting their driver in. They need their Tier 2 representative. Yeah, big for Alpine obviously because they had a disaster last week, so they need it. And to be fair, the week before, even at Spa didn't go to plan. So Spa and Monza both poor races for the whole of Alpine. So they need everything they can get just to keep that gap because they've still got a healthy lead in the constructors, but driver-wise, I mean, Chesney's out equal with Chesney, even though he had a bit of a gap, and Troy's dropped down the rank a little bit as well, so big points needed today.
Then, of course, since last race, Wolverine Killer announced at Ferrari, so it's going to be a very strong lineup for the rest of the season.
Exactly, and I mean, it's very interesting with Wolverine Killer because he's only obviously done. Oh, still was dead on the in-game, of course, in-game, but he's only done 2 races now, 1 race.
I think Phil's retired on track because his car's still moving.
Oh no, I wonder if he's chucked in the wall and then just finished it around, yeah.
Oh no, he's retired in the pit lane, sorry, and that was just Nefertau going slowly yesterday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that Nefertau just stopped?
Yeah, Nefertau stopped.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, Cyril was in the pit lane.
Yeah, Wolverine Killer, he's only done 2, he won in Monza and then he got second in the end after post-race penalties and all in Belgium, so he's had a very strong start just in 2 races. He's already in the top 10 comfortably within the point standings for the season, so let me see.
Well, it's going to be big then, so Troy's out on track but still on his out lap, so he's only going to have time to go around once.
So, yeah, it's 1 lap wonder, yeah. I mean, at least he's here. He can just be present and just hope for the best. As John, and then we were above with him 15.5, goes provisional pole. Still got people behind him though, so he's gone early, because that is him done then.
Oh,
Ali
Ali
gets
5-place grid penalty with Manic Panic.
Yeah, where's that? I mean,
So I think Manic Panic is on a lap, and Ali's on an out lap, so I wonder if Ali's going to get done for a fully blocked. I mean, it's one of these instances, you know, we've not seen, so I'm just guessing at what eventually has happened. But
Wolverine Killer then, he's on his last run, currently sat 4th, Ferrari sat 3rd and 4th, so they're the team in the best situation currently. Wolverine Killer's a very odd drive really, because it's still not completely clear just where he stands, I don't think. It's a 10th up as well. I think he's one of these drivers who's right at this top end of tier 1, but time-wise in time trials and stuff, we cannot really surmise just how quick he is in terms of one lap trim.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people looked at his winning margin in Monza and thought he was going to be too quick here. Yeah. So I think the one thing to say is that obviously fair play to him, he got the job done, but there was a lot of battling going on behind that really let him absolutely clear the rest of the field in the end.
Right, so that's Kurbo done then above him. So Wolverine Killer could, I mean, if he finishes his time, he could be the Ferrari to beat between the two of them, because he's up just under a 10th. So if he can continue that through to the line, where he puts it pole, goes for a low 0.5 then. Spinax as well is up as well though, behind him. So this is your battle for pole.
But Troy gets it safe and valid on his lap, but it's not quick, so it's only a 17th lap.
Spinax is 2 tenths up on his time. This is, if he just continues this through, this is going to be, well, I was going to say an easy pole, but I mean that'll only be by 70 milliseconds, so we'll watch Spinax through and see if he can topple the new Ferrari driver. John is at P2 in the garage, thinking he can get P2, but no, it's Spinax 15.4, and that looks to be a pole sitter unless someone like Turbo Snail knows he's in the pits. So Kiza, what about
Kiza? Final corner. I think it's just only 2.5 tenths up, so what's this going to do to him?
Second, off nowhere. Faze Alazar down there in 15th. Oh, he's invalidated. Nepatal's
done him with that high capture move.
Wow. To Spinax, the new Williams driver, not new this week, but new from last week, gets pole then. Kiza tries a last ditch attempt to knock him off, but it's not quite. He's got a 0.4, matched him in that sense, but not quite enough to beat him to it. Wolverine Killer then looked like he might have maybe on a sniff of pole, but two people slithered him right in to knock him down to 3rd. Wow. But then you look at your title contenders. You've got Kiza, won last week, up in 2nd, and then you've got Chesney down in 13th. Kurbold as well, he obviously finished his runs early, so he's still in the mix near the front, but he's not right up there as you'd necessarily expect, as he's down in 6th there. One thing to bear in mind though, yeah, Ali getting 5-place grid drop, so that'll move him down to 12. Still not, so that's no free places for Chesney, unfortunately. But here is your top 10 then. Kookaburra, he's been saying he's been washed all week, but matches his teammate. 4th and 5th there. Ginger Cindy on his first run goes 14th. Manic Panic's struggling. I mean, we'll have to see if that gets reported anything with blocks, etc. But yeah, 2.4 off the pace there, unfortunately. Same with Nepatal, 2 seconds off. Troy, with his one lap wonder, managed to put it 17 flat, so not too bad for him. Oh, plenty.
So it seems according to the chat, Cheetah Doozy got blocked by Ali, and Ali's apologised to him, and I think Manic Panics must have also been blocked shortly after.
I see Alfie's in the chat calling Spinax out, saying he's been on F1 for a total of 4 hours. Oh, Troy in the chat says, "Where is Reese?"
Can you not hear me?
I do a sound check. Hello.
That'd be quite concerning if the entire time I've not been heard.
I've just been waffling to myself this whole time. Yeah, if you can't hear Reese, just put in the chat and we'll see if we can sort that out during the race. If that's the case, I've just been sounding like a psychopath.
The volume of the stream.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Not losing my mind, that's why.
Yeah. He's obviously still half asleep. It's a problem though.
Right, so yeah, as Troy did get in, we're a full lobby today, so that's nice. And I think in terms of, it's weird because we're in a crossover with actual F1 because practice just finished, so tier 1 should finish just in time for the sprint as well, so full action if you like your F1. So with 5 lights, they go out. Spinax off the line, bit of wheel spinning.
Quite a moment, yeah.
Kizza through he goes. They're neck and neck down into the first corner, but Kizza will have the inside line. Yeah, and he's got the lead. Wolverine Killer's trying to get a bit bitey at the inside as well. But no, yeah, Kizza then steals the win. He's in the lead as things stand. A bit of wheel banging there between Banana's trying to spin around that side as well. Oh, we're on board around here. We'll get the tyres on the screen as well. Oh, we got a car.
So Spinax started on the hard tyres, and I wonder if that's what caused him to not get off the line well, was because on the front.
Yeah, so 3 strategies all in play here because we've got we've got a spin. Ali's round. I think Ali's been spun by one of the Alpines. Oh, we got a McLaren in the ball as well. Banana's in the ball.
Nepeta fallen back as well. I think.
That's painful for Banana because he was trying the soft start.
Yeah, so Nepeta's missing an end plate as well, so he's been involved in something.
Yeah, I think both.
And then there's no front wing on Banana.
Yeah, I think they locked wheels and just went into the wall before the chicane, where we saw that 3-car crash yesterday in tier 2. So I'm assuming that's going to be both of them chucking it into the pits, unfortunately.
Because he's already put his soft tyre to good use and made a 1.6 second gap.
So it'd be interesting to see what strategy he's going for, because it's a lap on safety car. I don't know if that wouldn't really have affected him, because it would have
Nepeta just got speed him. Well,
I thought he was going to call it a day. We'll see what happens. But this is one of the tracks that all contact between Jono and Kuravold, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say they made contact into turn 1 as well when Kuravold went up the inside and got the position originally. Troy already up to 11th as well.
I don't know if he'll have any penalty for committing murder on Ali, because I think it was him that spun the house. It was one of the Alpines at least. I've just realised that the 2 cars that obviously have gone in for a wing check, they've only just come out the pits as well. It's not that long of a pit stop, I don't think. I think naturally, it's around 18 seconds. But it just feels like they were in the pits for ages there. Oh, Wolverine Killer goes wide as well as he's trying to hunt down Spinax on the hards.
I mean, it's worked out beautifully for Kizza though, having Spinax on the hards, because he's managed to make 2.7, almost 3 second gap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's really just putting it this perfect start for him, exactly what he wanted to. F1 Kid in the chat is saying as well that, yeah, so according to the game, the soft hard, or whichever way you want to put them, is faster than the medium hard, so it's, I guess, yeah, according to the theoreticals that's the same, but I know in putting them actually to the test, it's whether that is the case, because I know hard medium round here is pretty good in terms of just having that stability rather than running your tyres to the absolute limit. Alex as well, not back in the mediums already.
I was also going to say here as well, I mean, obviously DRS is now technically active, but you've essentially got an entirely another lap that you've got to sit and wait for it. The DRS protection points obviously in that sector thing.
Yeah. And it's like a Zamvo, the DRS just isn't very, it's not that dominant really. You can't, it's a very weird one because everyone runs the same wings really around here, the wings are very high. And it's one of these ones that realistically you'll rely on the ERS advantage to get the move done down into turn 1.
Oh, Wolverine Killer's like that, I think.
Oh yeah, hold on. Oh yeah, and he's gonna get eaten out so quickly.
Yeah, he's dropped down to 6th already.
Wolverine Killer. It's alright, send him on. This should be hopefully get back in and push back up. But yeah, I was going to say that's somewhat freed Spinax, but for our teammates, right on it, and through he goes, down the inside. So Spinax playing the long game here on the hards, seeing what you can do. F1 Kid in the chat then as well, he's saying, yeah, 12 lap sprint on softs, they don't do great by the end. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind for the race after this. is so people go mediums in the sprint. Kiz as well, obviously trying to rag every inch out of this car that he can, picking up a 3 seconds. So I mean,
painful for him as well. He's already so far up the road. I mean, obviously he's gone for the softs. He's gonna have to stop earlier, but it's one of those.
Yeah, it's not
so
what
the
you want.
safety car, it could be costly. Yeah.
Well, hopefully Wolverine Killer can get him, because he's already starting to lose touch with. He's getting passed by these two guys as well. That's very painful, because he was right in the mix there for the win. Oh, he's just at me. I'll send him one more before he gets completely isolated at the back.
So I think Jono might have run on SimRacingCentre turn 1 here. With the DRS. Trouble's also going to move across the break to 16, but it's going to be too far ahead. Although, it's not going to be moved from it in the end.
Yeah, okay, Wolverine Killer's in, but look at that. It's so already down to 13th now. To be the one good thing is there is obviously a bit of no real field spread in that sense. That I mean, there's a gap between Turbo Snail and Alfie, as Turbo Snail's battling there with Cheetah Doozy. He goes around the outside then.
It's very bold to stay too wide there.
He gets it done, yeah, beautiful move. Obviously realising that potentially that Sean is the cork in the bottle here, because he's rear-ended him as well. But yeah, I guess he might realise that Sean is that cork in the bottle. I mean, the gap there is 1.9 now between Cheetah Doozy and Alfie, so there is a bit of a McLaren trainer, so hopefully he can push back up and connect those two trains together. Pool then as well started on the softs. We'll quickly have a flick through and see early position changes. So Wolverine Killer lagging out is your big loser start, and then that spin that Ali had on the opening lap as well. But Troy up 7 positions from that start, so good start for him. Same with Curvold, who was getting slightly called out for his dodgy qualifying, had to finish early, and he's already at 4 positions up into the fight for the win. But yeah, Kids are doing very well and exactly what he needs to in this first stint. Oh, the Spinax has a massive snap coming out of turn 1 as well. Big changes down the pack as well.
Seems Cheetah Doozy's managed to break away as the car can now attempt to push on to catch Alfie for the DRS, but
yeah, I mean,
we're not who's going to manage it.
This is exactly why they call it Monaco without the walls, really, because look, it's so the chance of making a move they're so minimal that I don't feel like Sean's necessarily got the pace. I mean, he's slightly pulled away from Chesney here, but
I think Troy's had a moment there. He suddenly dropped a couple of positions. He was up there with his teammate, and then
right,
dropped back a couple.
Yeah, all it takes is and he's been tagged from behind by Faisal, I think, as well. Yeah, F1 Kids
just went on the softs originally. That's just beginning to die off already.
F1 Kids said that Tier 1's just going to be a massive train. Yeah, we'll have to see how the sprint goes, and people might decide to vary strategies depending on how the sprint goes and how the field spread is. But yeah,
I mean, the one thing to note, I've got the Kids here, and he's already got a yellow fuel warning. So obviously he's out in front. He's not got anyone to be getting DRS off of.
It's the only one as well.
He's going to be needed into the safety car.
I just had to flick through. Yeah, Troy's in the pits. Then Troy's already had enough of these softs. Chucks the mediums on, so he's committing to a 2-stop. It's going to be interesting because at this point some people are asking for a safety car. I mean, the likes of Neptune and Banana, so isolated at the back, unfortunately, after that lap 1 damage. 25 seconds off the back of Troy, who's already 16 seconds after just having that pit stop. Very close to look at the pack. There's a couple of gaps here and there, but there's several groups of people that are so close and congested.
The original breaks as well that we've had in the DRS chain, they're coming down. So Cheetah Doozy has now just about caught the back of Alfie. Turbo Snail's really not far behind him. And before you know it, I mean, you then got 1.8 behind, but almost you're talking most of the lobby's going to be back linked together.
Yeah. I mean, the one interesting thing to bear in mind is, you've got, I mean, I guess they're on the same tyres, but Neptune slightly out of the question with there, but you've got K1, Jundi, Sundi, and Spinax all on the hards as well. So it's interesting to watch where they slot in and how much of an undercut the cars around they'll have, because I mean, being on the fresh tyres here is very important. If you're driving around on dead set of hards or mediums or whichever, the tyre gain that people get from the fresh pit stop is crazy.
Spinax just had quite a big moment there on this lap. I think it was out of turn one, but
again, yeah.
Cost him anything.
He did that in quali, he just doesn't really seem to like... Oh, and he's caught that sausage curve,
yeah. John is going to go up the inside. He's managed to make it stick through the tight chicane, yeah. One of those where SimRac is then always going to have to back out.
Yeah. See, this is what all it takes in Hungary. One little mistake and you just got to pounce on these chances, haven't you? Now he's in a little Red Bull sandwich, so see what Kukabo can do with Spinax up ahead. It's painful though,
isn't it? It could be Kurabo's chance though, because he's lost the... John is over the over the 1 second gap behind for the DRS. So.
Yeah. So all it takes, I mean, the one thing is he's not got DRS ahead, obviously, to be able to to tow him along, but all it takes is a little bit of a pace advantage, and he might be able to. I mean, it's floating on that bubble right now.
Yeah, they haven't got DRS this lap, so it's all about next lap. Can Kurabo now use this to jump straight away?
Spinax having a little battery drain as well to get close to Jono and maybe to fend off the Red Bull behind him as well. So there's that gap then that we're saying. The gap between Pool and Alfie is 2.7. Cheetah Doozy then is right on it. So Alfie's had a big drop off. He must have had a moment because he was right with that top 6.
Him and Cheetah Doozy going side by side at the moment, and now Cheetah Doozy's round.
I don't hit the wall, lads. He's kept it around.
We saw an overtake done earlier there, and I mean, I said at the time it's a very bold place to try and go side by side, and it didn't pay off this time.
It's painful contact because it's just wheel to wheel bang. It's big snap from Manic Panics as they switched to him. And Cyril's on the curb as well. I think it swooped in by...
That was very close there for Wolverine Killer almost being caught. Cyril goes straight on.
Wolverine Killer did bump him off there. He just kind of cut across the racing line like he wasn't there, so I wonder if that's going to get chucked in a ticket as well. And yeah, the Manic Panics is all over the back of Cyril now.
So all of this, wow, John has got the gap right down, so he's going to have DRS. There's the other flag.
Doozy's in the wall again. No damage, I don't think. I think he just flicked the rear into the wall. It's painful. Just how quickly a race unfolds. I mean, I feel like his tyres are going to be cooked now as well after that spin, so we might be seeing him in the box. It's flicked through, and Chesney's gone for a dive to get past Alfie, but he's got company. Alfie trying to hang it around the outside. No, Chesney gets through that. Chesney up into 7. Yeah, Cheetah Doozy in the pits. I wonder if he's calling it a day. He's at least got to get new tyres on. I'm hoping Killer's like that again.
Spinax has dropped a couple of places as well. I don't know if not that was due to the lag. He seemed to, as I come to him, he seemed to sort of jump back.
Wolverine Killer, where is the lad? Man's got spaghetti Wi-Fi today. Yeah, so Jonah then has been able to stick with Kurabo then.
Yeah, if anything, they've left Kukabo behind.
Yeah. And Pool's trying to reel him in. I mean, there's not much life left on these softs really. I mean, another game recommends if you're just doing a one stop using the softs, it'd be around lap 15. So, I mean, they're getting to that point now where they're thinking about a pit stop. You know, if you're going into the hards, you could pit early to try some kind of an undercut. But then you'd obviously be on the worst tyres come the end of the race in terms of shelf life. There's Alfie and Chesney having a nice little scrap down there for 7th and 8th.
It seemed Turbo Snail managed to help braking stuff slightly as well and strike contact with the Alpine, so...
Oh, it's that Doozy round again. Oh, yeah, Doozy's ripped his tyre off. Yeah, it's caused a really weird safety car there. He's just caught the wall and the game has just ripped his tyre off. If you weren't hoping for safety car, that is the way that's come out is so scummy. I was literally on board, but I flicked him just to see him in the wall, and he's touched the wall a tiny. I mean, that saved Kizza really, hasn't it, with his fuel?
Yeah, it saves kids with the fuel, but obviously with 3 second penalty, it then comes down.
Drags him
And I
back
guess
in
the good
there.
thing
Yeah.
is with the soft, is everyone's going to be in there. You'd
Yeah.
imagine. I guess the ones that are going to struggle are the ones that have started on the hards here. So
Yeah.
it's going to be right. I don't think the mediums will even get to the end here.
Mediums. I mean, mediums can do 20 laps. So realistically, you could go mediums, I think, but you'd want to go hards. I think hards can get to the end from here.
Yeah, I think mediums, if anything, at that point you might even have to bail out to the softs later on.
Yeah. I mean, people could just go to the mediums and then bet on there being another safety car to then return to the softs if they've got a spare set. So there is that. Yeah, F1 Kid in the chat saying 2-stop doing a medium. So it really depends
Still
what people do.
interesting
Yeah.
is staying out as well.
What's Cyril on?
He's
10
on
lap old
mediums.
mediums. I mean, you can do. He's got another 10 laps to go, but
I guess he's just thinking about track position and just trying to switch something up to get right up there again. But
so you've got Intel in the chat
cool.
from Alex saying that Kiz is apparently doing a medium, which is interesting because you've got Jono and Kurbo behind on the hards, which saying there's not going to be another safety car. You'd imagine they're trying to take this to the end now. 23 laps on the hards, which are very capable of doing. The F1 Kid pointing out what I was saying, I think just before the stream, is the tyre delta is massive, yeah. So I mean, if these two, Kurbo, Jono, stay out, I mean, you even got Paul in the mix as well in terms of the hards. If they all choose to do hards until the end, and the likes of Kookaburra and Kizza and Svinax all then choose to do a 2-stop, I mean, you'd really put them in the mix then to come flying back through. It just depends on, you know, whether the safety car luck is in their side and whether traffic is, or whether they can clear traffic easy. But I mean, we could have a very good, interesting end to this race.
It's a bit of a painful one for Troy as well. He hadn't long ago pitted off of softs, and well, I think he went to mediums and he's boxed again and gone back to softs. So he's 100% going to have to make another stop here at some point.
Several drivers
in this position, I would just stuck on the hards and then hope for another late. Yeah.
Several drivers then committing to a 2-stop. You've got a very, very interesting split. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got eight of the 19 drivers then choosing to go, well, you'd imagine it's hard until the end, unless they're just choosing to go hard for a little, but then a soft burst at the end. And then the rest all choosing a mixture of the mediums or the softs. So an interesting split.
Kidra again is going to have a massive tyre advantage from those behind. So obviously at the start he was on soft with Synax on the hards to sort of hold everyone up. Now he's going to be on the mediums against sort of the following track who are mostly on the hards.
Yeah,
and Cyril is obviously on very old mediums at this point.
Yeah, Cyril's getting. This is going to be an interesting one for Cyril because, like F1 Kid said, the differential between the two in terms of the delta is crazy. So very early on, if Pool and Svinax, Kookaburra behind don't pounce on Cyril and get a move done quick, they could already lose the train. It could be a front three, and Cyril could separate as a 2-pack already, and just have two little trains. Only one that stayed out as well. Don't let him cook. He's cooking something up. But when's he going to pit? He's going to have to pit. He's just trying his one stop then. I guess he's just sticking to a strategy, and then he's going to put the hards or the softs on at some point and just go to the end. But if you were going onto the hard, surely you just sort of pit.
I suppose though, it's one of those. I assume he was just looking at his position and thought he's got nothing to lose. Maybe he felt that he wasn't having any chance of any points today. So
yeah, obviously a couple of laps before that he got chucked into the gravel by Wolverine Killer. So maybe he just thought, I've already lost time in this race. Let me just stay right. Yeah, do what you said. Just you'd rather have the position and just see what you can do. I mean, if there's minimal opportunities to overtake, he might be looking at this and thinking, cool, I'll see if I can just stay within the points. Got position changes near the back as well. Wolverine Killer's lagged out again. I'll try one last overtake before we get restarted, but that might be mud for Wolverine Killer. That could be game over.
Oh, and he's now been given. There's a few 5-second penalties handed out. One to Troy for a severe collision, and one to Wolverine Killer for ignoring yellow flags. So he's not even making sure of the flag.
Yeah, they're all causing havoc back here with the AI just abnormally braking and stuff. We'll cut to front to see when Kizza goes. He goes early, midway round the final corner to try and catch Kurbold lacking. Goes very aggressive to the inside line, but Kurbold's got a nice little toe. Does he try and send it? No real gap around the inside, so he's going to have to try and go around the outside if he wants to move. No, don't think he will. Wait for them to come onto screen. Yeah. Oh, he's going aggressive. He's realising then that he needs to get a move done early. Oh, Jono. Very clever of him to back it there, because that would have been a collision that would have put him in the wall. Backed up, it has cost him that position with Paul, who swoops in and steals third place. These guys still going for it.
Yeah, they were never going to be able to make the too wide fit there, as kids had to go off the track there.
Fully just shoulders out and just coming for blood, both of them. Oh, Jono nearly rear ends Paul then, coming into the chicane. The Man at Panic's already dropped a bit. Same with... Oh, that's interesting then. So Kizza, obviously, he must have got pushed off by Kurbold then, just going into Sector 2. And he's kept that position. I mean, the one thing worth saying is he's going to have to pit again, so that it will be served. He won't be able
I don't
to...
think this is worth keeping, this 5-second penalty.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to remove that, so he's going to have to serve that in the box. So even if he comes to the stewards after the race and asks for that to be removed, it can't be removed. So at this point, I mean, he's got 8 seconds of penalties now. He's got that 3-second hanging over him, and then this 5-second. I mean, it's really put his back up against the wall there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's one. I understand the logic, later in the race, but here I think you just had the position that could be yourself a penalty.
You're still so close as well.
Yeah. In the box to service.
Oh, Spinak's getting squeezed off by John as well. Just shuts the door on him around the outside. I mean, he has got the tyre advantage at this stage though, so there is a chance that Kizza can leg it up the road. It's just, like you said, it's just put him in that situation, hasn't it?
Cyril staying out really hasn't worked for him. He's already dropped back throughout. Yeah. It's always going to be a risk, and that's the way you sort of expect it to.
It's put him in a position that he's now back where he may have been. Yeah, so Alex said, so if it's served 5 seconds, can't be, so yeah, so if he's doing a medium, Kizza will be in the box again, and that penalty will get automatically served. If that's the case...
Ali's out. VSC.
Troy gets a 5. There's been a bit of a pilot back then, isn't it?
That was Nefertal and Troy both getting 5-second penalties there under the VSC.
I wonder if there's been a little pilot there that's resulted in Ali getting flicked into the wall as well. Yeah, so Ali's out. Only a VSC for him as well.
Now sped in as well. Oh. It's odd that he's decided now to box as well.
That's pain. So he's gone to serve his 5 seconds and he's sped trying to serve his 5 seconds.
It's a very odd position as well of it being a VSC, because he's now going to be quite far back from the rest of the grid. There's not another safety car.
Yeah,
he's going to go to the end though, because he's stuck on the hards.
Yeah, it's a bit of it's a weird one though, because you either do it if you're going to make the pit stop. I guess he's only done the pit stop this year because of the penalty, but the pack is still so condensed. I don't really see that being worth it. I mean, he's now all the way at the back. Just he's got Troy and Cyril behind him, but well, let's mix it all up then, because now you've got Kurbold and Paul now up front with Jono tucked up behind in third. But wow, it looked like it was Kizza's race, but that's been completely turned upside down really with all that happening. I mean, he did it last week. He came from the back, so he's got a reputation for been able to do that. So we'll see what he can
get himself, a lot to do with the 8-second penalty still now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So at this point, he's probably hoping for a safety car so that he can pit and just either put the mediums on again or in a couple of laps to be able to do softs. Yeah, Alex says sneaky suspicion that Kizza is retiring. I mean, we'll see. There's still plenty of the race to go. Who knows what could happen? 70. Half the race. You've already had 2 versions of a safety car. So all it takes is one more safety car. Put the softs on.
Kizza's in them.
No.
I think those 2 were difficult altogether from what we read earlier, weren't they?
If he does retire, it's painful because I think the race could still open up. Yeah, he's retired. It's a shame. You never know what can happen. It's always worth staying around, I think, just to see, because he's still somewhat attached to the pack there. So, yeah. Never back down, never give up.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, like you say, I think you just wait, hope for another safety car, get rid of your other pen,
See, yeah.
and just
I
see.
mean, I know I talk from a personal sense. I remember, I think it was last season in Miami. I got punted round. I was 25 seconds off the back of the pack, and I was just driving around hoping for a safety car. One got called. I put the fresh tyres in at the end, and then I ended up coming like 5th or 6th or something. And I was going to finish dead last, 14th, 15th, something like that. So I think you never know what can happen in these situations. I think it's always worth just trying something and just, I guess it depends how much you value the points. I mean, he's in the title fight, and I mean, Chesney's in 8th though, so I guess he's looking at the, I mean, the one problem for him at the moment is going to be Kurbo then. As he will be taking the championship lead.
For a while to take the championship lead, and it could be the week it finally happens for him.
Yeah, I mean, unless Chesney has a little surge through, but he's 1.5 off the back of Alfie, so yeah, it's looking very, very good for Kurbo.
That said, though, there's 3 people ahead of him you're looking at potentially going to have to pit again. I don't think the mediums will get to the end, and then just throw on a soft 100, they're going to have to box again.
Yeah, that's true.
So if there's not another safety car, then that'll boost him up another 3 position. But
Spinax had just a massive lag spike, from Wolverine Killer lag now. I'm not going to invite Wolverine Killer anymore. He's lagged out several times. With viewers listening, I'm afraid that's you done. You've already lagged out 4 times.
Someone's round. I think that's another tower at the moment.
Was it Naftal or was it Faisal? Faisal kind of sat in no man's land.
Yeah, Neftal's gone off. I think he's struggling at the moment. I think his tyres have gone.
Oh, he's round again. Oh,
yeah. He's off into the wall. He's out of the race.
I'm not going to lie, I do wonder if that was intentional.
Because when I cut to him, he was really struggling on those tyres, so I genuinely don't know if it was.
Like, very odd, like, to have that much correction to chuck it into the wall. Yeah, Right, so several drivers using this opportunity to go onto the tyres into the end then, so we'll so obviously the hard Turbo Snell choosing to stay out as well on his 7-lap old medium, so maybe he's deciding to go to the end. Oh, Neptala rear wing damage as well. Man, Panic sped into the pit lane. So the hard guys go into the end then. Wolverine Killer, his Ghost has jumped up to 8th, but he won't stay there because he hasn't done half the race, so realistically Wolverine Killer will be disqualified from this race, so painful day for him.
It's really going to mix things up then, because those who have had to box again, you do get such a big tyre advantage here to try break through.
Yeah.
That they're going to have 7-lap fresher tyres than the rest of the field then. We're going back to green racing conditions now.
And they've got time. There's still plenty. I mean, there's only 7-lap differential between the two, but that could be enough. I mean, Paul's now right in the back of Kurbo. Obviously, with that safety car recently, everyone's really saved up their, well, the front 2 anyway, saved up the rear S after that. Jono's used a bit of it, but the front 2 basically on full batteries. I wonder if Paul's going to have a little drain here to get through.
I mean, this is the thing they need to sort of half realise at the moment is, they're currently in the position looking like they're going to be fighting for the win, but if they overdo this, someone like Synax could easily come through on his mediums.
Yeah, it depends how quickly these guys, I mean, we're keeping an eye on the gaps between, probably not Spinax to Wolverine Killer. Wolverine Killer taking control of his car? He has, yeah. So
yeah, he is.
So we can use that as a reference point to see just how quickly Spinax and Kookaburra reeling the hard runners in, but yeah, we might see some changes near the end. Yeah, F1 Kid in the chat saying Spinax will be flying, so yeah, we'll see how quickly he gets. Well, we'll cut to him as we go through that, because he might have to try and get a move done through sector 2, because he's going to lose so much time. The gap's already 5 seconds ahead. Look, I'd try and go around the outside or something and try a little switch back before the chicane.
I feel like, I think you're going to try that down the inside you can here, but it's going to be too far back. There's no chance to make it work.
Yeah. You can get a move done coming out of turn 13. If you try and a move down, if you get a switch back here, you can go around the outside, but no, look at it, look how close he is, look how much time he's losing. He's nearly pushing him along. Surely you just commit to the move now,
the inside,
and just hope that he doesn't get you back in DRS, or get a switch back. Yeah, so you'd imagine that's Spinax through now. But just see how much extra traction he's got out of the corners. Like, he's already gone, he's gone. One corner, he's just legged it.
Yeah, I mean, you talk 6 tenth gap, so even with the
8-10.
DRS and slipstream, I mean, yeah, it's not going to be enough.
Alfie's legged
Alfine's now
out.
legged out.
Just cut to a tip of snow and then he smashes into the back of John in there. So next on Spinax's list will be phased out then. Next hard run at 9 lap old hards now, so. Okay, next one is Kookaburra. Kookaburra's already knocked 7/10 off that gap to Wolverine, so he was 2 seconds down, so another driver who's at the front of that pack is flying in terms of cutting through the hards, but you know, he has got that massive gap then back to Spinax though. That's the only issue if he wants to try and follow him through. He's not close enough to be able just to follow him through. Alex says when a season 7 signups won't come out until the actual game.
The game, yeah.
Yes. So they get dropped. The release, they release on the release date of F1 24, when the Champions Edition or whichever one they come out. So literally on release day they come out. So hopefully, I mean, this happened last time when we brought them out, where people don't even have the game, and they're just doing the sign up. It's like, lad, please wait till you have the game. It's like it's not a first come first serve thing. So yeah, just be a case of waiting. Neptal's already done his sign up for next season apparently, so he's got ahead of the curve. Right, so that's Kookaburra as well. Oh, a bit of a snap coming into turn 1, but yeah, so that's Kookaburra through. And yeah, Wolverine could have flagged that again. That's probably messed up Spinax as well. He's on PS4, so he's lagged back a bit probably.
He's at least not near anyone to lag behind people again this time, but
yeah, it's just a shame because it just halts your progress. If you're trying to push on, it's a pain in the ass if it just keeps dragging you back. Cyril gets a 3 seconds as well. But Faisal's through, but he's off the track. So that's Alfie down positions. Gap's still very close at the front. I mean, fair play to Turbo Snell. He's keeping tabs with the front guys despite being on the mediums, which are getting towards the end now of their life. I mean, they're around the halfway point, but they're starting to get to that point where they're ticking over then to being a bit too worn. But Spinax then passed the Ghost of Alfie as well. Just think that amongst all this, I guess it's the Ghost. Yeah, I was going to say Wolverine Killer's dropped down to 12th, so that will be him ghosting through people having that AI 75 level difficulty, so he's just dropping down.
They're probably going to have the people ahead of him as well in the fresh medium, so I feel like that's going to be it with his penalty.
Yeah. Alex is trying to shit house his way into do, lad. We saw what you did in Bahrain, lad. You are tier 1. Sure, get me down in tier 2. Let's have a scrap. Wolverine Killer. If the man's listening, I think he just needs to call it a day. I was going to message him, but I won't bother. But it's getting to that point now where it's just causing pain for the rest of the grid, and we've got a yellow flag around there somewhere. Oh, and I wonder if Spinax has put it in the wall because of lag.
Oh, that'd be painful if he has. So now means Kookaburra is now going to be the lead car from that medium strategy, but
I really do think that's what happened. I think he had a lag spike and he spun on the curb. I'd be very interested to hear what happens after, because if that's the case, I would be fuming.
Oh, Jundy, it just got past Alfie into the final corner. Didn't want to wait any longer behind the used hard runner.
Fraud ghost car. Alfie, I don't think Alfie's back in yet. I don't think he will get back in.
Oh, I forgot
I think he's fully done. He said in the chat that his internet's off to himself, so I assume it's fully dead and he won't be coming back. I mean, I'll drop him a quick invite. If he's still sniffing around to try and get back in. I mean, he says he's online, so chuck him one and see if he can get back in.
Oh, Banana picks up a penalty, 3 seconds.
It's just been alright for Banana though, isn't it?
2.6 seconds off the lead then, with what, 11 laps to go?
This is going to get very interesting. It's going to be a matter of how quickly he can carve through Chesney, phase out. I mean, it should be, you know, by the time he gets up to turbo snail, that should be the easiest overtake, because his mediums will you know, they'll be at that point then of that, you know, he's just clinging on for dear life. He may even pit. I don't know what turbo snail's plan is to do as well. But look how close.
I feel like if you turbo snail, you're just going to stay out and hope something else happens to let you have the free pit stop.
And Kookaburra just needs to. He just needs to get. I mean, he's just rear-ended Chesney there. And, I mean, if that gets reported, that's likely to be a penalty, which is a bit of a shame, because he was always going to make that move done on Chesney. So it was just a bit unnecessary. Yeah, because now he's just throwing his name into the hat of potentially having a 3-second to his name. That's a shame, but good progress still. You know, worth bearing in mind though that I know Banana's got the 3 seconds, but Kookaburra's not far ahead of these guys at all. It was at a point where we thought it was, you know, Spinax miles up the road, then back a fair bit to Kookaburra, then back a bit again to the rest. But Kookaburra's literally just ahead of these guys, of Banana and Junji Cindy. First race for Junji Cindy, and he could be in a really good position here.
I've just seen Faisal have quite a bit of a moment in front of Kookaburra. His neck tight enough to pass.
It's a shame because
he's going to have it done here if he gets things off the exit well, but no, quite far back.
Tuck in and see, but I mean, he just needs to mind what he's doing with Wolfing Killer like that again. I'll message him because that's just getting stupid now, really. Looks like, yeah, that's Kookaburra then getting that move done. He's catching people at decent times, really. I mean, he caught Chesney probably a little bit too early, and it made him get that extra bit too close through the final corner, but
he's got a lot of clean air in front of him now, though, to go make up the time on service now.
Yeah. It's one thing, though, yeah.
Just get his head down and just put the mediums to work.
But watch that gap then. So 6.8 start of Sector 2. We'll come back to that in the lap and see how he's looking. But yeah, Kookaburra's looking very good here. Still very close out front between the halves.
They're not too far behind him on the same chassis as well.
Yeah.
But still needs to get that overtake then on Faisal, and obviously he's also got a penalty.
Junji Cindy right behind Chesney as well. So the mediums then starting to come into their own.
I think it's likely going to be too much work to do, but they're in with a chance still.
Yeah, I think the one potential stopping block for them, I mean, you look at that gap to Turbo Snail's in. Turbo Snail's called it a day on those mediums, so he's going to be a steam train at the end on softs. He's got a safety car as well. Where's the yellow flag?
Manic Panic has it at the moment, I think. If the yellow flag is on him, I don't know what's happening. I touched it too late.
He's just come onto the softs as well. But yeah, Turbo Snail then back into the points right now, still hanging in. So he should be okay for points here, Turbo Snail. I mean, he's just been passed by Cyril, but he's going to be so quick on those softs. Back to Kookaburra we go. So the gap is now 9.2, so it's hard to tell how the progress has been on that lap because of Turbo Snail's pit. So we'll keep an eye and see it. But the gap, like John is
just over a second on the leaders. So I checked the leader gap; it's about 12 seconds still, and it's now 10.7. But the thing he's going to have, Banana just behind him, just outside of CRM, and it all comes down to is Banana going to catch them, and if so, how much battling are they going to do between themselves?
Yeah. Albo asking in the chat what happened to Spinax. So we're not too sure. I think he got caught out by the lag, or Wolverine Killer lag now, and it lag spiked him and caused them to spin because he was at the lead of this medium train. And if he didn't have a moment, he would be right with Jono right now, I'd say. K1's just had Troy as well. So after all this though, so you've got, I don't know, I just don't think Kookaburra is going to catch up to these guys.
Yeah, I think they're going to be too far back.
So we've got still this race for the front three. Everyone, I mean, Kurbold and Paul are still very close with their ARS usage. And then Jono behind on a bit more for once, which is quite unusual for Jono. To say he's in a beneficial position. Chimpers are not backing Troy's strategy. Yeah, this man's on 12 lap old mediums. How's this man on mediums at this stage? I wonder when Paul is going to pull that trigger.
Happened when he chucked on his softs earlier, but
Yeah.
another strategy could have not paid off for him.
Oh, and Paul's rode the curb. Paul's rode that curb going into sector 3. And he's lost the position. John up into P2. That might be
Painful thing for Jono though is he's got the position, but they're out the DRS.
Yeah, I mean, it happened earlier and it didn't really make too much of a difference, but Man of Panics is out or he's in the pits.
That's in the pits, yeah.
Oh, that could have been a crazy end because that would have been a safety car. Everyone onto the softs for one last dash. I mean, it would have been a spar again, so maybe I don't want that. It's been quite a clean race, really. Nothing much has happened. I mean, apart from maybe a couple of lap point incidents, it hasn't been too bad, really, from what we've seen on stream.
Yeah, it seems to more be after the safety car we had. There was a bit there, but apart from that, most people have luckily kept it clean from what we've seen.
Jundy Sunday then passed, phase out then, goes up into 6th. So at this point now, he just needs to stay within that gap to Banana, and he might be able to sneak a P5 on his debut. So very, very nice race for Jundy Sunday.
You said about Jono had saved his DRS nicely, but he's had to use pretty much all the advantage he's had to make sure he's going to be back in this DRS. Yeah, so he's only about level with Curable now, with Paul having completely joined his.
And he's still within, to be fair, worth it, because he is within that limit now comfortably now. 7/10 the gap to Cooper. Oh, we're going to have one of those races again, aren't we? It's going to be Kerbold versus John. Elsie's just said he forgot about checking, so do you know what, we'll let this slide because tier 1
I
is
said
in the
I said they get strikes, but if any of them still want to race, they still
fine.
have the chance because the seats are going to be free.
Yeah, come on Elsie, in you go. But
yeah, he also dropped me a DM on it, so I've gone back to it on it.
That's fine. And it's a sprint, so lovely. Big points up for grabs for the Has boys. Paul's slight, I mean, after catching that curve, then Paul has slightly lost momentum, and he doesn't seem to be right in the back of Jono. So I think the three of them are all very equal in pace, to the point that he's not able then to claw that gap back up. I mean, if I had to pick anyone at the moment to win, obviously it's going to be on track position that's going to... Oh, and John has a massive snap going there into the chicane, but I'd probably say Kurbold's still favourite to win, just because he's got the on track position and he's looked very comfortable this race. But
I don't think we've seen enough. Like you said, I don't think the DRS is that powerful here, so I don't think we're going to see
a DRS move down the straight.
The last lap at the team. What was it in Silverstone when it all went wrong for those two playing DRS chicken?
Yeah, it's not.
We see a repeated Timmy Pool just come through and wins the race, but I just don't think we're going to see the games like that here.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Still, then I mean, Paul's caught up a little bit. Then I just realised, yeah, obviously Turbo Snell's trying to fly back through the pack on his softs, and he's right up behind Chesney. He's almost caught him too early because he's just before the straight. Yeah, he's done well there. A little bait from the pit stop from Spinax. Look, he's catching him in the wrong places really, because he just needs to drain out and back himself on the brakes.
Yeah, I think you just got to realise how much of a time actually been out there and just go for it.
Yeah.
And you'd imagine Chesney's not going to fight this hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's night and day really in terms of the grip that he's going to be having compared to I mean, same when he gets up to Spinax, he should fly past Spinax.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kookaburra's hit that wall then, hasn't he, really, of the Tyberg? Because it's really stabilised around that 8.5 to 9 second mark, and he's not really gaining on that, and he's got Banana right for company. Banana's had a great race, considering he was in the wall at one point as well. To come back, I mean, he looks like he's just going to cover Jundi, just about, but I mean, he looks like he's in the top 5 still, which is still a solid effort.
I did think Paul was going to get himself dropped, to be honest. After he had the moment, he seemed to then use a lot of the recipe cut, but he's done very well. He's only 3/4 off Johnny again. So it's not, I mean, from what we've seen, you can't imagine there being a move done because it's just not strong enough for the DRS and slipstream effect. But he's done well just to stick in with his traffic.
Yeah, so that gaining is about 3 to 4 tenths down the straight. Considering Kurabod had a good end of his sector 3 and the gap was nearly over a second then. But then he dragged it down to around 6 tenths, so I mean, you've got 3 laps left. Is there going to be any kind of move up here in the front 3? Is anyone going to commit? So we've got Turbo Snow and... Turbo Snow trying to switch back on Spinax. He went deep into turn 1. He's got that move stick over the 2 older tyres. Chesney last lap, Spinax this lap. And you'd imagine that's him done. It's just whether he can create this gap. Has he got... Actually, yeah, he's got 3 seconds. I thought he had 6 for a second, but yeah. It's just whether he can create this gap.
Made a good point about a potential penalty up top as well. So you're talking the front 2, Curabod and Jono, are both on 2-1 each. Paul is yet to get one. So if they just slightly go out, that could be it, and just hand it, you know, at least hand the P2 across the board, if not the entire win, depending. Especially as the tyres really start dying on them.
I guess it depends how much they're pushing, because it's one of these tracks. I mean, if you're Curabod, you have got that extra bite by being in the lead that you can slightly back people up through the lap and not completely push 100%. Jono's probably in the one position where he's fully ragging the car around to try and get this move done. But the gap is just not coming down at all, is it? It's so minimal across the whole lap.
And then if Curabod built his DRS back up, he's almost got 15-20% advantage on them behind.
Yeah. So Curabod's sitting very pretty here. Even though the gap is, Jono's struggling with the car then through sector 1. Gap's then gone back up to 6. But yeah, this gap, 1.2 covering the front 3. This is painful because it's anyone's to win. All it takes is one little slip, one little wide moment to get that warning, and then the win's gone. I'd still want to be in Curabod's shoes though, in terms of who I'd rather be. Oh, it's a bit of a moment coming through there though.
Yeah, this way you've really got to be careful. It's very easy, just a slight slide, and that's it. It's your penalty if it happens. But not on this lap.
Oh, he's gone wide there as well.
This is the closest John has been to him all race. Well, from what we've seen, there's 2 tenths separating him. He's right on the back of him.
I wonder if Curabod's trying some games to try and play chicken, but it's not the track that you really want to. I don't know if that's just genuine mistakes through sector 2 and 3. He's had a very good exit though. I wonder if John smells blood and he knows this is his one opportunity. Is he going to send it?
They're both draining.
I think he's going to send it. He goes for it. He goes for the move.
Oh, he's pushed him out of the way. And Paul's right on the back of them as well.
Oh my god. Curabod turned in very early, I can't lie. I think he's just going to send it again. Paul's smelling blood.
Oh, it's going to be Paul, yeah, on Jono now.
Jono trying to hang it around the outside. We know what happened with Cheetah Doozy here. And they stay alive.
Kept it clean and Paul's in front, so I think, yeah, Jono has to back out, and rightfully so.
Everyone's flashing, everyone's completely drained. I mean, Curabod's the one that's managed to regain just a bit to keep that gap. So he's above that 10% mark already. And he's pulled away a little bit through sector 2 already. Faisal gets a 3 seconds, which could be quite costly then for his fight with Turbo Snow.
Turbo Snow's also got a penalty, so
it's just whether he can have it.
He'll be flying up ahead of Spinax.
I think that was the chance, you know, because I don't see Paul getting a move done down into turn 1 here. The gap is just not there at all. If anything, Jono's going to have
there's going to be Jono on there.
So the gap's at 7 tenths between the front 2. Yeah, Curabod's
enough. Yeah.
All right, on to the final lap, and you've got 1 second separating the front 3. Yellow flag at the back. I wonder if that's Cyril. Cyril or Troy, I think someone's had a little moment there. I think that was Cyril, but we'll stick with the front 3.
Banana's going to get Kookaburra into turn 2 here. He's not draining ERS, interestingly. I think if he uses ERS in that small period, they would have had a slight chance. It would have been
he's still got 40% still set. He's draining now, but I mean, it's not really the place to empty. I wonder if anything's going to come from that instant between Curabod and Jono as well. Obviously, Jono sent it from a long way back, and Curabod did turn in slightly early, but I can't see that resulting in anything really, if I can't lie.
I think realistically it's one where you look, if Jono's going to send it, you can't always expect the room to be given.
Yeah. I mean, considering how far back he was as well. Yeah, the gap's sitting at 4 tenths. I think this is going to be it. I think we're going to see Curabod winning again. In Season 5 and Season 6. Through he comes around the final corner.
The
championship lead.
So
obviously Chesney down in 10th right now. But Corbo, the gap is under half a second, but he wins. He's the person that wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Paul in second, John in third. Kukura tried something with his 2-stop, brings home fourth. Whether anything gets reported extra from there, we'll have to wait and see. Banana comes home in fifth. Jundi Cindy with his first race, and it was a very good first race, to be fair. Back in the 2-stop, and he comes home in sixth. Svinax might be feeling slightly hard done by coming home in seventh, but there was potentially more on the table for him, so we'll have to see if anything happens from that, or his reaction initially in the chat. Turbis now doing well for his soft go at the end to bring it home in P9. Another poor day though for Alpine. They're falling apart at the seams. 3 races now where they've left here with 1 point.
I mean, they're always going to be up against it when, Troy turned up with about 4 minutes left to qualify.
He was still in bed. He still had his eyes closed. So. Banana's already looking at someone for a potential dangerous rejoin, so we'll keep an eye on that, and there's potential reports that get chucked in, but for once, I mean, hopefully we'll actually have a race winner that doesn't get changed because of penalties. It's the first time in forever in Tier 2.
I think really it's a shame for Wolverine that he kept him hanging out, because he showed decent pace to begin with today, and obviously, had that not happened, you would have Ferrari right on the back of Alpine for the championship fight.
Yeah.
But the gap's still going to close, but it's going to be still... Well, it'll probably be about a race win distance at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the gap was already, 7? I think, back from Chesney to Kurbo, so if he's already back 25 points, yeah. That title move has certainly swung in his favour at least, so you'd expect... I mean, Ferrari's still a little bit off it, and it will still look to be more Alpine's way for the constructors, but drivers-wise, yeah, it's definitely swung Kurbo's favour, and he started 6th, so a very good day at the office for him. Worth bearing in mind for the top 10 as well. Banana started 20th, then ended 20th again after his wing damage, and to come back to P5, a very solid day at the office. Junior Cindy as well, as stated, started 14th, came back up to 6th on his debut, so very good. Svinax, unlucky for him today, obviously started on pole, down in 7th, come the checkered flag. Turbus now finishing a race for once as well with the fastest lap, started 7th, finished 9th, and then Chesney into the points, but only 10th, so points lost in that title race as we go into Canada next week. We'll have to see 3 races left then, and all still to play for. Obviously, Kiz are retiring in the pits as well, so that's perfect if you're Kurbold, because the points gain that he's going to have to the cars around him is going to be humongous. I mean, I'll quickly have a look. Literally, all 4 of the cars ahead of him have had a combined... You got Troy just behind him. He's on 58 points. Kiz at 65, Chesney 65. Kurbold was on 61 coming into this. So it might, honestly, Paul might be in a sniff now of 2nd, because Paul had a very solid race. He's going to be at the podium again, so he's going to be right up there behind Kurbold. Then
Paul finished P2, didn't he? And so that'll be 18 points coming his way. So yeah, I think you're going to be talking being that new top 2. Kurbold will have the lead, and then Paul will be 2nd. Yeah,
and then Banana as well. Banana, obviously, he's 17 points off the lead currently going into that race. But that was a P5 for him, so solid points on the board for him. So the whole pack is just getting so condensed. I mean, the front 2 were slightly starting to run away with it then. After that, they built up a nice gap, but the pack behind that of Kizza, Chesney, Troy, Poole, Banana, that's really starting to... I mean, even Kukra had a solid race, so... Well, we'll have to see then. Because it's starting to get 3 races left, and it's getting very, very interesting, so... Right, well, on to Tier 1. Tier 1 on next. On in half an hour or so. The lovely Wildstorm will look after you there. Sprint in F1 as well, for people unaware. So one-shot quali onto the sprint before 50%. And then next week will be Canada. And do you know what? I'll do a quick on-the-fly weather check, because Montreal is one of those places that there could always be rain. So
to be honest, it's Tier 1. We are Hungary.
Currently... rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the rain breaks at 7 on Sunday. So
You know what's going to end up happening.
Dry. Yeah, it's going to be raining in tier 3, dry in tier 2, dry in tier 1. That's what's going to happen. At the moment, it's fully wet all of Friday, so it could be a wet race next week in a potentially title deciding race. I mean, it depends who has what happens, but you know, we could see a lot of drivers fall from the mathematical title race next week. So keep an eye on that and see what happens. But yep, another good week of racing. But on to tier 1. Stick around for that in half an hour. Until the next week, though, for Canada, we will catch you later.